American life streamer who has caused an uproar in South Korea smiles without a care in the world.
Somali.
He's following him. Oh, he messed up. He messed up.
A local YouTuber has tracked down Somali and in the middle of the street assaults him with his fist.
He messed up. What?
야, 굿나잇, 소말리. 굿나잇. 굿나잇.
He cold.
Yo, we haven't covered this guy in so long, and thank God we haven't. I've been getting blown up to cover this thing because back in the day, if you guys are not familiar with me, if you're just jumping on the bandwagon of my channel, I've been mainly talking about gaming news. But before I started talking about that, I would splice in a little bit of stuff like this. And the reason why I was talking about it is because there was this one viral thing that was going on, I would say probably 7 months ago, to where this guy got on my radar and highly pissed me off. I don't like making videos like that to where I actually get mad. I know you guys might think I actually, get mad when I'm talking about stuff, but I'm a very passionate person. Let me just put it like that. This video not this video that I'm talking about now, the video that I responded to last time. This guy takes me there to another level to where I don't have an issue with people trolling. Or I don't have it, I never want to harm somebody that I have not met as much as I want to harm this guy. I stayed away from it from all those months. He just kept on getting back into the cycle. He kept on going to different places, basically globe-trotting, trying to find these Asian countries to do stupid shit in, right? So he got his ass beat a couple times, and I was just chuckling and laughing behind the scenes. I wasn't going to cover it because I was still going to get pissed off, and I didn't want that evil to come out of me. You know what I mean? So I just stayed away from it. But apparently, I'm going to cover your ass when some good news is, when some retribution is finally going to happen. And I'm not talking about the ass whooping that I just showed at the beginning. Apparently, Korea is not fucking around. So thank God. I hope this dude gets life in prison because he did something that just went way too far. And that's what a lot of these pussy streamers do. I can't stand IRL streamers. I can't stand them at all. I think it's an avenue to where it invokes you to do the most foul behavior in public in order for you to get views, likes, and clicks. So I think it just advocates for the avenue anyway. I do not like in real life streamers because you got normal people trying to live their normal lives, and you got these fuckheads who are pussies in real life because they either one have security or two run away to the next country and just keep on hopping or they pick their targets. I don't like people like that. And thank God that there's a person like that in Korea who followed this dude. Boy, I like that dude. People like this who have zero respect for people's personal space, for people's culture, for people's anything that they're doing. You're just invading their privacy and you're just impeding on their culture and their way of life when they're just trying to go about their day. And you find the need, because you need views and clicks and the need to be important, to fuck everything up for that person. Thank God that he's finally about to receive some prison time for what I'm about to show you. This guy named Decoy Voice, I think his name is Decoy Voice, actually made a video that I think summarizes the whole thing. I haven't watched it fully yet. I only watched a couple minutes of it though, but I want to see his coverage of it because, like I told you, I haven't been keeping track of this because I already knew it's just going to get me angry. But I have to revisit this because I talked about it before and I've been getting blown up about this shit. So I have to revisit it at the most important time, which is probably and hopefully the conclusion to all of this. Hopefully he takes his ass to jail and they throw the fucking book at him. Here we go.
After Johnny Somali and his two buddies were taken down by one Korean dude, a literal line of other Koreans formed, asking to fight him next.
This guy just look like he don't fucking play. This guy look like he will beat your ass for real. I'm telling you, fuck around and find out. See, a lot of people think that Asians are soft. A lot of Americans do. I don't know where the stigma came from to where us in America think that Asians are pussy for some reason. I don't get that. It's like, those are people who haven't been anywhere. That's the reason why they think Asians are pussy. Oh, trust me, there's some Asians that'll knock you the fuck out. And I can just see it in his eyes.
Check your Instagram DM. Let's find me. I will kill you.
If you're a 20 mom.
This guy ain't playing. You fucked around and found out. That's what I'm saying. You keep on going to these places. Eventually, you're gonna run into people who are actually about it.
Radius to where I live. Be prepared to see me.
These people ain't playing. Woo.
Until a Korean Navy SEAL went out and actually found him in his hotel.
He a Navy SEAL. And he sat up there throwing up the deuces to him. You know he got a problem with you, but you such a pussy. He's so dumb. This guy's so dumb to do these stupid antics because he's not a Jack Dorothy or a Neon or something like that, right? He doesn't have that much notoriety or money, so he can't afford security. And even I hate those two. But at least they have security in order for him to not get hurt, right? This idiot is doing this shit and he doesn't even have enough money to even have security to protect themselves. So you're going to get fucked up. Stupid.
어디가? What you got?
Now look at this guy.
What you got?
And he's a tiny guy too. Get your punk ass on the ground, bitch. I love it.
And now YouTuber Rotten Mango.
I don't understand how tiny people finally need to talk shit to people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're tiny and you're talking as much shit as this guy is, I can see if you was a big dude and you could back it up. Johnny Somali obviously can't fight. I could just look at him. He looks like a pussy. You're not going to... You can't scrap. So what are you doing talking all this shit? He thought Asians were pussy until they showed him he wasn't.
Decided to cover the incident, but to explain the significance of this is on YouTube. She has nearly 4 million subscribers, with 1.8 million views on this video in the first week. And even though I've seen similar numbers recently, Rotten Mango or Stephanie Sue is in the top 100 on Apple Podcasts.
Oh no, she a big dog. She up there. Jesus Christ, I never even heard of her before.
And even ranked number 17 on Spotify with the second most watched true crime podcast. God. So even though me, Asmon Gold, and Abba and Preach have received millions of views covering Johnny's descent into internet obscurity, we all kind of sit under the same umbrella online, sharing much of the same audience and repeated viewer. But Stephanie Sue in the Rotten Mango podcast introduces Johnny's crimes against Korea to millions of other more offline people.
Oh, she's on the big leagues now. Okay, so once, see, that's a bad thing. See, Johnny thought that just regular YouTubers were going to cover him. See, this is what happens. When you get to the mainstream, that's when consequences are actually going to happen. See, we could talk about shit all we want to. And yeah, it's going to get, internet notoriety. But when you start hitting people who are actually 9-to-5 people, like radio shows, Joe Rogan, that type of stuff, right? You're hitting people who are just regular 9-to-5ers who are not online people. That's when you're really going to start to get fucked with. But once people like her, who's a big dog, start talking about it, you're done.
Which is only going to apply further pressure to the Korean government to do something very uncharacteristic and absolutely throw the book at an American, as something like 16 years in prison is on the table. And although it's...
How about 16 more? What's 16 plus 16? Give him that.
Seems silly that a podcast documentary can actually impact the outcome of a court case. Just remember how R. Kelly's crimes were basically an open secret for several decades until Lifetime made a documentary about him, reminding the public to demand justice. Sure. As this even has NBC News reporting on Johnny Somali or Ramzi Khalid Ismail, with Dexerto stating he's facing up to 7 years in jail for sharing AI-generated content, putting his previous actions under a microscope, which now may actually lead to terror charges. I hope those $3 super chats were worth it, as he's been basically begging for international notoriety. And now
see, people like this, that's why I don't like IRL streamers. They're basically like whores and hookers that do the most as long as they get money thrown at them. So they're willing to show their ass and do stupid, crazy shit as long as people are donating money. That's why I do not like IRL streamers. I think it just evokes negative and stupid behavior. It's nothing good that's going to come for it because people are just going to try to one up the other and do crazy bullshit in public, and then it just becomes a mess. I don't like these people at all. I really don't.
Now he's put both himself and South Korea's justice system in the spotlight. So if they want to avoid advertising themselves as spineless jellyfish to the international community, further inviting more unemployed behaviors to plague their streets, they're gonna need to lock up Johnny for a very long time.
Please,
as those videos might actually be his final goodbye to the internet. That's why it's great. Now, the beginning of the end for him began when he was literally being hunted during his live streams.
Love it.
So he switched to live streaming inside what appeared to be an empty room until...
Oh, I thought you were tough. I thought you didn't give a fuck. What you doing hiding in the room with your scary ass, bitch? I hate when people talk shit but can't back stuff up. You're weak. You a
Until
pussy.
internet sleuths caught a brief glimpse of a blurry pizza box that locals were quickly able to identify. And as he tried to antagonize the Koreans even further, they caught a reflection of the room off his cell phone, identifying a particular exit sign and an internet cafe monitor as the chat filled with messages stating,
You know how mad you have to make people in order for them to decipher small little details like that in your video, in order for them to see where you are. They literally they found where he was off of reflections from his phone. That is, you have to really be on somebody's bad side in order for people to do this to you. You're a terrible person. You bring out the worst in people. That's crazy.
they knew where he was staying, as shortly after that Korean Navy SEAL found him in the street. But luckily for Johnny, the local authorities were nearby to rescue him.
My hat.
Pussy. Look how small this guy is. He would get... Bro, you cannot be this tiny. You cannot be this tiny. This guy weighs probably 160, maybe. You are... I hate when people who clearly can't defend themselves talk shit like this. And then you have the nerve to fuck with people in real life. Bro.
Arresting the Korean UDT...
Oh, this guy's about it.
Feel that showed absolutely no remorse. And to my understanding, that guy had his bail, luxury hotel, and upcoming legal fees crowdfunded, as he's basically seen as both a local and international hero.
I want to buy him a drink. If I ever go to Korea, I hope he's around, and hopefully, I become big enough. I will literally buy this guy a drink. I'll buy him a drink. I'll buy him dinner too. Fuck it. Thank you. You're a hero.
Just as I predicted would happen years ago. So being afraid to live stream anything but audio, he's resorted to essentially hosting conference calls on X, as these could barely gain a couple hundred listeners, which is a huge drop off from his thousands of video views.
He does all this antic shit for 3,000 views. He got 10K over here but 10 months ago. Motherfucker, I get more views than you. And you do crazy outlandish shit. You're weak. Oh my God, you're terrible. You're an embarrassment. You're doing shit that would get you locked up and put in jail and you still not getting views. You're a pussy.
The video views and the millions of people who would tune in to see him find out, which again was another one of my predictions, that he would slowly slip into internet obscurity as he provides nothing of value other than internet fame and fortune for whoever can find him in the streets, or for insanely famous podcasters that make thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, she gets a lot of views. Every single one of her videos got over 1 million. She's a big dog. I ain't never heard of her before. I've never heard of her before. Maybe I need to be in tune more.
Off of, as I imagine she'll get at least 3 million views, showing a new side of the internet, exactly why he's despised by everybody else.
And he starts stripping off his shirt. He's trying to dance all up on this female figure, rubbing baby oil onto her, and the Koreans are screaming at him in Korean.
And to make it worse, that statue is supposed to be of a kid, which may make his dance a much more serious crime. So at least to Johnny Somali, worst case is he streams that garbage to a couple thousand people on the shadiest streaming site online and nobody notices. And
what does he stream on, Kick? I know he can't be on Twitch. I think it's probably Kick. That's the only place I would know that would actually allow a person like him to be on there. I'm just gonna be real. It's no shade to Kick. I'm just being honest. The girl memorializes women like I can't pronounce this. She's now 89. It says she has visited the statue often. It symbolizes the youth she lost at age 13, when the Japanese Imperial Army abducted her from her village. And apparently, I think it was some sexual acts that were done on her. So that's the reason why the statue memorializes it. And he had the fucking nerve to do this bullshit.
You're rubbing baby oil onto her, and the Koreans are screaming at him in Korean.
And to make it worse, that statue is supposed to be of a kid, which may make his dance a much more serious crime. So at least to Johnny Somali, worst case is he streams that garbage to a couple thousand people on the shadiest streaming site online and nobody notices. And best case, I guess, is he's featured on the #2 crime podcast in the world. Then the mainstream news media picks it up, and now you're going viral for making a video doing very suggestive things to a statue of a kid that that was specifically made to commemorate how foreigners committed crimes against kids.
Jesus, he's done. He's done. I hope they throw the fucking book at him. That is illegal. I already know that's illegal. I looked at their laws and shit like that. That's fucking illegal. They're not gonna play this shit. And plus, too, everybody's looking at Korea right now as a what you gonna do type of situation when it comes to this guy. They're gonna have to set an example for people like him, because it's not just Johnny Somali who's going to Korea and these Asian countries doing this bullshit. It's actual dancers, which I'm gonna show right now.
Japan has turned into a theme park for tourists. It seems like every other week there's a new video going around the internet where tourists act like they own the country, which eventually leads into public outrage.
And there's a host of other people that's doing this to where they actually had to come up with a sign like this. Even though most people think it's racist, no, it's not racist. It's literally a description of what they've seen. So that's the reason why the sign exists. Stop being stupid in countries you don't belong and try to respect it. Motherfucker, these people ruin the perspective of people that look like, and I'm just going to be honest, that look like me. Why do you think I'm taking this shit so seriously?
Well, he thought he was being funny to idiots online when he was really reopening one of the most sensitive issues in South Korean history.
Crazy.
And now making it about him. And speaking of sensitive political issues, after he was streaming alongside some girl, recording himself vandalizing another guy's home, Johnny later displayed to his live stream AI-generated videos of him hooking up with a female streamer, which violates a brand new bill specifically made to charge people with those videos up to 7 years in jail.
Holy shit, I didn't even know this was a thing. God damn.
So some Korean politician is about to boost their entire career off this incident, as there was never a worse time to be this ignorant to local laws. And I don't think Johnny's intentionally speedrunning going to prison, but if he was, I don't think he would do anything different. As Dexerto previously reported, he was facing 10 years in jail, which started from his first charge of causing a commotion in a convenience store that, in comparison, was one of his more milder offenses that he recorded himself committing.
Oh yeah, see, I seen this one not too long ago. I got sent this in my DMs. I know he said this was a small incident, but for some odd reason, this pissed me off more than anything. I do not like when people fuck up places with food. You're throwing food, and you just destroy the entire... This does it for me. This triggers me right here.
Was one of his more milder offenses that he recorded himself committing.
What are you doing?
You Chinese.
But just like in Japan,
I'll beat
he'd been
this
bothering
dude
their
ass.
citizens for a while, until the authorities arrested him over something simple as trespassing into a construction
you're
site.
tiny.
Now the Japanese made the mistake of letting him off easy, believing his lies and just deporting him. And the citizens are already seeing
Remember I showed you this? This is the same thing.
the effects of allowing foreigners to completely disregard your culture, which is why I think Korea has to absolutely throw the book at him, as not only did the entire world see some idiot twerk and pour baby oil over a statue of a little girl, but also violate a brand new law specifically made in response to public outrage over deepfakes. This case is becoming so high profile that if they don't imprison him for at least half a decade, they're basically broadcasting not only to Koreans, but the entire world that their laws actually don't mean anything.
True,
and
they
other
have to do
streamers know
something.
this, as Legal Mindset is begging people to come forward.
For example, the people that he sexually harassed, you need to go file a complaint.
Yes.
Right now, the system looks at how many charges are there. If this guy gets 10, 20 charges against him, he's screwed.
As the convenience store wasn't the only place he bothered workers. He also bothered other streamers.
Look at
he
this guy.
bothered random buskers. He and his stupid Korean friend bothered random girls in the streets.
Did he say Korean friend? Oh, please don't tell me he's in on it too.
Even following them into...
You know how embarrassing it is for you to be Korean doing that shit too with him? That's just like me doing something with somebody who's literally pro KKK. He literally says things specifically discriminatory to Asian culture. And he said he hate all Asians. And you're going along with it because you think it gives you clout? You're the biggest sellout Korean I ever seen in my life. You deserve to get punched more than him.
The stores.
Why did you run back in the store, bro?
What are you doing in your
I'm
own
gonna crash
country?
out. I'm gonna crash out. This
I
your
guarantee
friend
you
right
this Korean ain't from
And
here.
shouting at old ladies just begging for change.
here? Get lost. Get the on. Come on.
Y'all embarrassing. Oh,
as much as I think Johnny and Johnny Jr. are losers, I think that Korean dude that follows them around for secondhand clout is the most pathetic person I've seen on the internet. So I feel no sympathy.
He said the same exact thing I was thinking. That's a shame. You need to get your ass with more than Johnny Somali, for real. That's embarrassing.
As he may have legal issues of his own, and he's pretty much earned it.
What do you call Korean? Wait, what's the Korean version of coon? What's the terminology for that? Because black people got that terminology when it comes to us betraying our own people. They call certain people coon, but they use it as a different terminology now. They would even call me a coon for even holding my people accountable. So that's the reason why it's a little skewed. But still, the term stands. It means that you're going against your race in a way to where it's like you're going against the person that's actually talking shit about your race. And you're joining in and talking shit about your race as well. That's the reason why they call me a coon. Because they consider me holding my people accountable as demeaning my own race. That shit is crazy. That shows you how lost in translation certain shit is crazy. But I want to know the Korean version of the coon word. I want to know if there even is one.
Hanging out with a guy that literally despises his entire existence.
I like to make content that makes people violent. I hate it.
What?
I think all Asians need to be exterminated. Somebody please put this on the news tomorrow.
And this Korean bitch has the nerve to be around him. I would have smacked him just for saying that. Just imagine me hanging with somebody that said that he believed all black people should be hung. How does that make you look as a person? Get the fuck out. Boy, I'll beat your...
Which this too turns out to be a crime in Korea, punishable by up to 7 years in jail. On top of the time he went into their subway system, broadcasting that he has a device.
What?
Which again violates local laws that could get him an additional 2 years in prison. So Dexerto said 10 years in prison. My math here adds up to 16, with some people even saying 29 years. But I guess the sentence length is irrelevant when Korea had an over 99% conviction rate. Now I understand long prison sentences isn't as common in Korea, but the justice system is more of a deterrence for future offenders than rehabilitating previous offenders. So this particular scenario has zero drawbacks when you can imprison someone for several years, then immediately deport him back to his home country. And although incarceration is incredibly expensive, it just might be worth the worldwide headlines of "Do not f*** with Korea." We got military-age men that'll beat you up everywhere. We got high-speed internet to live stream your beating from every angle. Then we let you rot in a box over laws you never knew existed. And that message is priceless. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription.
You did.
Then go check out the video on exactly why you need to protect your country's culture before it's too late.
Absolutely. Very dub video. I like that guy. Go check out the decoy voice, man. That was a very, very good video. He covered exactly what I wanted to see and what I wanted to hear. I want them to throw the fucking book at this guy. I hope I never hear Johnny Somali's name again. This dude has been plaguing my shit. Well, I've been getting blown up because I've been trying to basically pretend like he didn't exist. But he just keep on popping up. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Nobody touched this guy yet? And I'm just going to say something very controversial. I thought somebody was going to... And you know what? Fuck it. I wouldn't care. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's playing with fire. I would never, from where I come from, I just know how to conduct myself. And people who come from where I come from anyway, if you come from a place to where you had to act a certain way in order to get through it or survive or whatever the fuck, right? You will understand. And that's why it frustrates me so much, because I come from a dangerous place. So I know what not to do and what to say around certain individuals. And everybody else who come from that place understands the same sentiment, right? So that's why it pisses me off so much when I see people like this, because if he was where I came from, he would be... And I'm just saying that just to be realistic, though. Throw the fucking book at him, Korean. Set an example for everybody else. Nobody's gonna miss him. Period. Nobody's gonna miss him. But before I get myself in trouble, I'm about to get the fuck off of here. Fuck Johnny Somali.
I will kill you.